All right, we are back with episode 5 of the Sports Now podcast. It was a lovely week 1. Matthew has a pig as his background.
That is
John
so true. All
John
right.
Pork John Pork.
You want to
So
be me so bad.
well,
I
before
do.
we get into John Pork, we have a lovely, lovely special guest on this podcast. My former roommate from freshman year of college, Mr. Hunter Rowe.
Oh, yeah.
Tish.
Oh
I'm clapping for myself.
The
It's an
greatest.
honor. It's an honor. I gotta say, I take personal offense to like it took this long to get me on. As the resident ball knower,
Listen,
it
there-
should have been episode 1.
That's on Griffin.
No,
that's totally on me.
we saved you for the regular season. You did not want to be here
Bless.
during the preseason.
Bless.
True.
I'll take that. Good save. Good save. Point,
I
John.
like that.
Yeah. That's why we got
So,
Trevor here
yes.
during the preseason.
Yeah, I mean Trevor was just saying words
Incredible.
last week.
No,
incredible.
Trevor predicted a lot correctly about the games.
Yeah, but he was still just saying
was
words, which I
incredible.
love. He was just his silly, goofy self, and that's what you need. So, for this beautiful episode of our podcast, we are going to be going through week 1, kind of giving our thoughts about it, kind of giving what happened in fantasy, and then we're going to talk about last night's game, how that was a very eventful game, I would say.
Tua.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for pointing that out, Matthew. And then we're going to be talking about our predictions for week 2. So,
Wait, two? Wait, two?
with that being big number 2,
Week 2.
That's 4. That's 4.
oh, yeah, you're right. 2.
Week 2.
With that
Two.
being said, let's get into it. Let's get in with the first game. I mean, the Chiefs and the Ravens, that was a crazy game.
I already forgot it.
That's
It's
crazy
been
because
that
I
long.
know you did not forget it.
I recall it being a very good game.
I recall Lamar Jackson cooking.
It was quite
Until
a good,
the
quite a
last
good
drive.
game. Go Mahomes.
Shout out Isaiah Likely
Shout
for
out.
having big ass feet.
Oh yeah, Isaiah Likely was
Yeah,
a stud.
Mark
You,
Andrews
you
was a
know,
fraud.
this is actually a great talking point to start off the rip. What is your initial thoughts on Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews?
I think Isaiah Likely is going to be huge this year because they used him. They didn't really use him as like a blocking tight end at all. He was just always catching the ball.
Dude, 9 receptions for 111 yards.
I mean,
Do
that's
you mean-
huge.
Do you mean like huge in a sense of Mark Andrews is gonna start to fade into the oblivion, or can they coexist?
This might be a Trey McBride, Zach Ertz situation. Maybe.
I think Mark Andrews is going to fade off.
I don't know. He's injured
It's a
his foot
nothing.
so many
It's
times.
a nothingness.
I wouldn't say nothingness, but like he's definitely going to take a dip in like his not his value, but what he brings to the table as a receiver because Isaiah Likely was making insane catches.
I think in real life and reality, it's going to be incredible to have Mark Andrews and Likely. But if I were to own either of them in fantasy, I would take Likely 10 times out of 10.
I agree.
I actually don't agree. And this might just be because I'm a Mark Andrews owner in a couple leagues, but I also don't think that's the case. I think the Ravens used Likely more as a slot and not really as a tight end. While in the game, Andrews didn't get a lot of looks, he was still running at routes. So he's going to get his targets. And Likely slot play, I don't think affects it that much. Granted, this is 1 week sample size.
True.
So, and you could say this for all of week 1. Week 1 is full of just craziness. Guys that blow up or guys that don't exist, like Marvin Harrison Jr. And
God.
I don't think it's really time to panic for
I like that.
anyone really, but I would say don't worry about Andrews.
I like that. I just am very high on Likely because now I have him in 2 of my leagues, so I have to be high on him.
Don't get me wrong. I don't think Likely is not gonna produce. I think he's gonna have a great year, but I don't think that means that Andrew is just gonna not exist
True.
anymore.
But that was a great game. I mean, the Ravens almost had it if Likely's foot wasn't ginormous.
Okay.
Okay, so flipping sides, what do you think about someone like Xavier Worthy?
Oh, he's awesome. I'm going to be honest. I think he's wide receiver 2 now. I think he's great.
Wide receiver
Like-
2.
Like on the
And-
team or
On the
in
team. On the
fantasy?
team. On the team.
Oh, well, yeah.
On
he's
a team.
Number 2.
Okay.
Well, Brown is also there. He's just injured.
Who's there?
Hollywood
Brown.
Hollywood
Oh,
Brown.
yeah, he's going to be out for a while, and I don't
I
think
saw his name changed to Hollywood actually on ESPN.
he's not getting that spot back.
You don't think so?
no, even when he comes back, I don't think he's not getting it back.
He's
I just don't see it happening.
Xavier's just so fast.
I mean, I think his role will be decreased, but
I think Worthy is wide receiver 2, but I still think that he's the 4th option in the pecking order. Like he on the wide receiver depth chart, he's up there, but I don't think he's Mahomes' top option by any sense.
I would agree he's 4.
And when I say that, I actually want to bring up the subject of are we finally seeing the Kelsey decline? Finally?
Dude, I was talking to Tony about this. I am so high on Noah Gray this year.
That is not what I mean by
Listen, Noah Gray is gonna cook. You just wait.
You
By
might be the
week
only person who's saying
week
that.
7, he's gonna cook.
bro.
Week
the
7.
way I was trying to go with that discussion was Rashee Rice, but you just take it
Noah
no.
Gray is him.
Noah Gray territory.
Noah Gray is him. Believe me when I say that.
Does that mean Samaje Perine is wide receiver 1 now?
Absolutely. Samaj P. Ryan on the Bengals, you don't want to see him.
Kelsey still got that dog in him.
I didn't say
I
he didn't,
think
but I'm
Kelsey's
just
gonna-
really high on Noah Gray
I would be shocked if Kelsey wasn't top 3 at the end of the
Why are
season.
you so high on Noah Gray?
because he's awesome.
What about Noah Gray?
I don't know. I like the way he catches the ball.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You just love that out of a guy
Rice is great. The only reason why Rice wasn't drafted higher in leagues was because of
because of what
suspension.
happened. No, Rashee Rice is a monster.
Yeah, I think he's gonna. Yeah,
Adam last year he was awesome.
I
I
wanna
think
say
over the
top
course
10.
of the season, I think he's slowly going to take over as Mahomes' top option.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's still Kelsey, but as the weeks go on, I think it's going to start favoring Rice a little bit.
You're also just saying that because you're a Rashee Rice owner.
Yeah, I'm in so many leagues. I own everyone.
So real. Feel that.
How many
I
leagues?
mean,
How many
I
leagues are
own
you in?
you.
You don't own me yet. You haven't played me in a league yet this year.
I mean, we know the history.
We know the history, but I still win that first matchup. So you can't say you own me if I win every single first matchup I play against you.
Do you boys have any thoughts regarding anyone else in this game? Henry is an interesting one.
Henry is interesting. I don't know. I feel like he wasn't on the field as much as Justice Hill was.
I think it's going to be a pretty steep decline this year for Henry.
I think I might have to agree with that.
I still like Henry. I mean, there's just a 0% chance that Jackson rushes for 122 yards every single week.
Sure, that's true.
And
I think he'll
wouldn't-
still be kind of solid, but I don't
yeah,
know.
Jackson did that because their running game wasn't working. If Henry can get going, I mean, he only averaged 3.5 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his best
I
run
think-
was 9 yards.
I think we're past the days of Titans Derrick Henry, but I definitely think he can be a touchdown monster, just a goal line machine, kind of like David
Oh,
Montgomery.
yeah, for
He's
sure.
massive.
So I think he'll still be relevant in a fantasy sense, but we're past the days of like Derrick Henry MVP talk.
I agree.
You
I
know?
mean, he's going to be like a 10 times better version of Gus Edwards, what he was last year. Gus Edwards rushed for like at least 10 plus touchdowns.
Oh, he
Henry's
should
just
do that
better.
again this year.
What do you think? Henry's going to get like 30 rushes again every game?
I mean, when
Like-
you
like
have
he did on the
Lamar, you
Titans.
don't. Yeah, you don't have to do that anymore.
He's not going to
Like,
get that same volume.
No, not at all. But that's probably good for him because he'll stay healthy for longer.
He also hasn't had like that many injuries, really.
He can't get
No.
injured. He's a brick.
But yeah, that was a good game. I
He's
like the
definitely one of the healthier running backs.
Dude, tank. Now this is
Now-
the game that I almost cried while watching. It was the
yeah, this game is
last.
crazy because Saquon Barkley is him.
I love him. He's my favorite.
Let's get that out of the way. I have Saquon in the league and it's awesome.
Same.
He's awesome.
Too bad I did not start Jaden Reed in one of my leagues.
He's also
That's the guy who I wanted to talk about. You guys can praise Barkley all you want, but for me, it's Jaden Reed. And it's because all offseason I was telling all my friends, like, hey, because wide receiver 1 for the Packers is a big question mark. And
Yeah.
all summer I've had a hunch that it's Reed. Don't forget Watson. I think he's gonna have a relevant red zone presence. But I think even for a 5'10" guy, I think Jaden Reed is going to become the wide receiver 1 this season.
I agree completely. Truly, that is the Packers are a weird team with its receivers, but Reed is the best one, I think, out of all of them. I think he's the fastest. I think he catches the best. But Josh Jacobs picked it up a lot in the second half because he was looking slow in the first half. He was cooking in the second, which was good. But AJ Brown, Devontae Smith all looked good. Hurts looked pretty decent, I would say.
Obviously, you feel for Jordan Love a little bit,
Oh God, that injury sucks. You hate to see that.
but there's even talks of him playing this week, which is crazy, and I don't think it's going to happen. But
Yeah, he's still not listed as out. He's still doubtful, which is crazy.
in real
Yeah.
life sense, I think that might take division favorite or division bets away for the Packers. I think that injury kind of solidifies the Lions
I
as
agree.
the top dog in that division because it was kind of a toss up after last year. But I mean, I guess it all really depends on how long Love is out for.
Yeah, I was about to say it all centers around him. He is the
Back next
offense.
week.
You
And
think he'll be back next week?
Well, I don't think he's back in 2 days next week. I think he's back week 3.
We'll see. That'd be
I
great
did
for
want
the
to clarify.
Packers.
He's not doubtful. He's only questionable.
Oh, he's not doubtful?
Yeah,
What?
no, he's only questionable. Um, that just could be a procedural thing. He probably is genuinely doubtful in reality, but
It's
he's labeled as
funny.
questionable.
In the league that I am the league manager in, Hunter did a funny thing with the quarterbacks in that league. He picked Kyler and then he picked Jordan Love, so people couldn't get a pretty good starting quarterback, which I found hilarious. Cringe.
Was this
yeah,
your
I guess that plan didn't really work out, seeing as how just week 1 his knee gets obliterated.
That and Jaden Daniels did look great.
Yeah, fair. So
is this your
Yeah.
2 QB league?
No,
it's a 1 QB league, and
Yeah.
at the spot where I picked Love, I didn't really see any other value that I really liked. And
Oh,
Love
okay.
was top 5 last year, so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna cash it in. Um, and moving on a little bit, this might be getting into the weeds for like the draft crackheads, but
Weed.
the weed.
bring
Uh,
out the weed.
I want to say I think as much of a Musgrave guy I am, I think Tucker Craft kind of solidified his
I
spot.
love Tucker Craft. I don't know.
Yeah, what do you love about Tucker
I
Craft?
don't know. I just love anytime I hear his name, I smile.
Tucker
I think
Craft.
he kind of solidified himself as tight end 1, unless Musgrave was like battling something. I think Kraft might have taken the job. I'm not gonna lie.
Tucker Craft.
And the reason I bring him up
Tucker.
is because tight end is such a thin position in fantasy.
It really is.
So I bring him up because actually in a fair amount of leagues he's a waiver guy. So
Yeah, for sure. Do you
if you're
have him?
considering,
Do you have him in your dynasty league?
I mean, he's taken. He's not on my team, but
Oh, gotcha.
people see the value. He's a young guy. Take advantage before the breakout. That's all I'm saying.
I like that.
He might even be a waiver pick in our league. On waivers.
But yeah, this was a great game. I
Get him
mean,
now, John.
Saquon looked incredible.
John does not want Tucker Craft.
No, I don't want a part of the Packers tight ends.
I don't think you want any part of the Packers if Jordan Love's not on the field.
I
Yeah.
actually disagree with that, and we're gonna
no.
talk.
Really?
We're gonna talk about Tua as well, but I don't think just because a starting quarterback goes out, that automatically means the fantasy weapons are irrelevant. I mean,
We'll
we saw.
see.
Sure.
I mean, granted, he's a unicorn, but Justin Jefferson produced last year when he wasn't injured. He produced last year without Kirk.
True.
There's guys that produce, and if anything, if a team is bad, they're going to be passing more.
I like that. I like
They're going to be down on the scoreboard, so
For sure.
they're going to be passing more, which helps, especially in PPR leagues. So I wouldn't say rule out guys just because someone like Malik Willis.
Yeah, but at the same time, sometimes the quarterback really does suck so bad to the point where the offense genuinely cannot move.
It just
That's
depends
what
on the offensive player, obviously.
Depends on the offense. Depends on the defense you're going against too.
Yeah.
The New
But-
England Patriots.
Great. Well, the Patriots beat the Bengals, so
If you don't own Ramondre Stevenson, that's all.
Oh, the best game.
That's all.
That's all.
Until next time.
Honestly, the best game of week 1.
Well, we lost.
Well, I won.
Bro,
I win.
you're not from
I
Buffalo, bro.
I win no matter what. Anytime a team of mine wins, I win.
So I'm curious,
Really?
what makes you say that this was the best game of week 1?
I mean, the best game in the sense that there was a comeback involved. The Cardinals actually looked pretty dang good up until the third. They really started stinking on the third quarter, as you can see, the big fat goose egg on points wise. But I think Arizona showed that their offense is pretty dang good. Even with Marv not like getting much in the game, James Conner looked incredible.
You did
So
well.
that's just me saying as a Connor like owner, but I think this is a great game. I think Josh Allen looked amazing. I think James Cook did well.
John says Josh Allen is a fraud.
I mean, we'll talk about that game.
Yeah, I
Later,
guess we
but
will we will talk about Josh Allen again, but I just liked this game because it was my two teams going head to head. So
Yeah, John, what you got to say about anything in particular about this game? Since
this game, I wasn't really a big fan of watching Marvin Harrison not be present. I did see an interesting stat though, based on how slow he ran, but I don't know if that's I personally don't think that matters at all, but
What was the stat?
I think like his fastest route was like 16.4 miles per
Hmm.
hour, which is like one of the slowest.
Dang.
Eh.
And
I mean,
I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into that. Right out the gate, Buffalo gave Marv a lot of respect, just doubling him. Just
mhm.
right out the gate, they assumed like this is going to be our number one option, which obviously he should be and probably is. But
he is.
and that kind of gives some insight on our coordinator does not care about fantasy at all. He
Mhm.
sees nickel out there, he's going to run the ball with James Conner. Like
That's fair.
so in
That's
in
very
a
fair.
real life sense, it makes sense.
Oh
But
yeah, I don't think they ever care about fantasy.
for
No.
fantasy, also, give Marv some grace. He's a rookie. It's literally his first game.
Mhm.
He
Yeah.
A big part of it for me about the like going slow point is I feel like he was just processing like what was going on. It's a different game than college.
Mhm.
Yeah, and you're away too. Being on the road on your first NFL game must be hard, especially at the Bills Stadium.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, I know. I mean, I saw like, oh, he was wide open. I think that was way blown out of proportion. Quarterbacks miss players on routes all the time.
True. That is very true.
Whatever. I think judging the entire game based on that one play is extremely silly.
I think Kyler looked great too. I think he looked
I
pretty
like
dang
that he
good.
ran. He
He was not afraid to run. It was nice
ran
to see that.
fast, and I loved it.
Flipping sides, I gotta give my boy Khalil Shakir some love.
Oh, I love him. He's awesome.
He didn't get as many targets as Coleman, but I think he's gonna be the safe, not sexy, just start every week for the Bills. Like you're not gonna want to start Shakir because he'll put up 20, 25. But I think he's going to be one of those guys that's like a safe 10-point play every week.
I
He's,
like that.
he just feels like a safety blanket. And as we saw in this last game last night, Keon Coleman is going to be looks like it's going to be one of those hot and cold players. But
Yeah.
just with I said with Harrison, give Keon Coleman some grace. He's a rookie, so
For sure.
I feel like the jury's still out with him. But safe play, Khalil Shakir. And I want to mention it's a little tougher now after last night, but I feel like James Cook is starting to solidify himself as an RB1.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Apart from just being, a RB2 fringe, upside guy. I think he's starting to cross into that threshold of, an RB1 guy. So this is mainly for me because I'm in a lot of dynasty leagues, but for redraft, buy him. Buy him before he gets too expensive. That's my personal take. I say that just because of how thin just like tight end running back is.
Right. Oh yeah. I feel like the best position you don't really need to worry about is receiver since there's so many of them. you really got to solidify your running backs and your tight ends for fantasy. I think it's super important. And thank you for saying that because that makes my pick on James Cook being my number one running back in the league a lot better.
Double James.
I do have
Yeah.
James Conner in that league too, though.
Also,
Should
shout out my boy Greg Dortch. Don't
Yeah,
Sh-
real?
should people get Ray Davis in case James
No,
Cook dies?
Ray Davis is
actually
smelly.
yes. Actually, yes.
Yeah, you want to own him. Yeah, I would.
We just
Think
saw
so?
we just saw with Christian McCaffrey. Like
Oh, okay.
Jordan
I guess
Mason.
that's fair.
This brings up a whole another
Yeah.
discussion I was thinking about maybe bringing it up later, but handcuffs.
Yeah.
Get your handcuffs. Nobody wants to do it and waste a roster spot on a handcuff, but just in case a Nick Chubb situation happens, you still have a starting running back.
True, that's fair. I mean, I have the Seahawks backup running back in 2 of my leagues, so now I'm starting
Yeah,
him.
lucky you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
so,
yeah, you're not getting him in our league. I am
I don't
not
want him.
trading you.
You're gonna ask for freaking everybody.
I guess
yeah. So it's kind of a common slimy strategy by me, but I always pick up people's handcuffs and I use it in trade bait. They
I
need
mean,
them. They
I mean
need them.
it is a good strategy, but it also does waste some roster spots potentially.
Hey, I'm the trade master.
Yeah,
Griff
you are.
that everyone knows that.
I mean,
I'm going to use every slimy tactic I can to get the
yeah, I'm
advantage on my
talking.
opponent.
We have a podcast of 2 of the craziest traders I've seen. John and Hunter have crazy trades. Truly.
I trade big. I also trade often. Well, I traded 10
And
times.
that's what
I
wins
trade
the
huge.
that's
John
what-
Pork knows.
John
John Pork.
Pork knows the way, baby.
Although getting half my roster injured makes it incredibly difficult to trade. So
We'll get into that later because I
Only
still
if you
feel
had your
very bad
handcuffs.
for you.
Only if
also-
you had
I
your
would need
handcuffs.
4 handcuffs.
There's also the risk with handcuffs, ultimately just ending up in a giant committee. That sucks, and there's no
True.
good starter.
It's true.
But again, that depends on the team.
Honestly, this game was shout out Chris Boswell. That's all I can say on this game.
Yeah, I didn't watch this game. I did get the
Yeah.
notification when Kyle Pitts scored his amazing
Shout out Chris
touchdown.
Boswell.
Shout
Yeah,
Shout out
I
Chris
did not.
Boswell.
I didn't watch this game either.
Shout out Kyle.
So yeah,
Pitts.
we can skip this game.
I
This
heard-
game was a snooze
It
fest.
seemed like Kirk did really bad.
No,
That's
there
what I
are
saw.
Falcons and Steelers fans watching. We will talk about this game.
I do
Talk-
want to highlight
Talk
just
about every game.
I do want to highlight 20 carries by Najee Harris. And granted, I know that Warren was coming in with a little bit of was it a hamstring?
It was his hamstring.
He's been nursing all training camp. So that's bound to change maybe. But in a contract
Hopefully.
year, Najee might become a guy that you want to pursue as he pursues a contract,
I do like Najee Harris.
So
Yeah, I need Warren to pick it up.
I'm not huge on him, but
I
I
need
see the
Warren to
upside
pick it
potential. I see the upside potential. So if you're really hurting at running back, that might be one of those guys that you can cash in on early.
1 carry for negative 10 yards. Moving on.
Yeah, that play stunk. I saw that play on Red Zone and I was not happy.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot to talk about. I mean, Bijan, he got the usage. The game was
Kyle Pitts caught a touchdown.
Kyle Pitts.
John, your favorite guy, Ray
Like winning the
McLeod,
lottery.
did like the
Ray
best.
Ray McLeod is
McLeod.
finally a receiver, not just like on special teams, which is awesome.
Shout out Ray McLeod.
Yeah.
Let's
Because he
go.
used to be a Steeler, so look at that.
4 receptions, 52 yards. Okay.
Yeah, passing was a snooze fest from both sides.
Well, I do want to note George Pickens, who is starting to solidify himself as a pretty relevant option.
I love George Pickens.
Kind of in my eyes, last year at least, fringe flex wide receiver 2 spot, but he got his looks, 7 targets. Like I think, and a lot of target share from last year was out the building. So I think George Pickens is bound for potentially a great year.
I agree.
matter who is at quarterback, I think he's going to get his targets.
Yeah, the
Because
Steelers
who is he competing with that is relevant
Mhm.
Nobody.
in the passing game? So
Michael Pruitt. Why didn't they just
And then-
call it Michael? But anyway,
also a little worried about Drake London. Not too worried, but it's more of a Kirk Cousins thing.
Yeah, Kirko did not look great.
I think he is still worried about that Achilles.
That and TJ Watt was literally destroying him every single play. Like I
Uh,
watched TJ Watt just demolish him.
I think this is just a week one thing. I think Kirk Cousins is just I think he's gonna go right back to how he was last year before he got hurt. Um, he's not a mobile quarterback. He never has been. He just needs to get comfortable dropping back and using that foot again. I don't think it's
Yeah.
gonna take very long.
Slinging the ball.
Yeah, I think they're gonna be fine. I have no idea how the receiving is gonna pan out. I mean, McLeod could continue to be the guy the whole year. We just have no idea.
Hmm.
I mean, I would say London is the best receiver on the team, but I don't know if Kirk Cousins agrees.
I think personally, I think it's less of a London thing and more of a Joey Porter Jr. thing. Of I think Joey Porter Jr. just might be starting to emerge as a lockdown corner. Not that he hasn't already been good,
Mhm.
but I don't think this really speaks on London himself. I think it's more so watch out for Joey Porter Jr. if you're an AFC North team.
And
I
Ray Ray
like that.
McLeod, the
Shout out
third.
Ray Ray.
I love Ray Ray. I've always loved him.
Ray.
Oh, right. Ooh,
Oh,
no.
this game stunk. This game stunk with the Bears
This one
offense,
wasn't very
man.
exciting either. Yeah.
I mean, Caleb did not do the greatest. I
What?
mean, he went 14 for 29, 93 yards.
Yeah,
Swift made me
that's
very unhappy. I mean, Swift getting 10 carries for 30 yards stunk.
Caleb will settle in.
seems like
Yeah.
I mean either didn't really do well that well.
I'm going to point out that Tony Pollard is the main guy, at least from week one. I thought it was going to be like a committee backfield, but
Yeah, I thought Spears would have more of a role
yeah,
week
but
one, but
Pollard looked great.
I think that they're just going to go with the hot hand. I think it's going to go back and forth. I
just
think.
whoever's
Yeah.
good
Yeah,
at the
true.
time.
Hunter, what do you think about
Also,
that?
I think it's
possible.
definitely as a guy that's high on Spears, as a guy that's high on Spears, I definitely think it's still just going to be a committee. They didn't pay Pollard all that money to just give it to Spears.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Oh God, that was
You
I
awesome.
like
mean,
you like that, G?
yeah.
That was great.
Allen having 11 targets and only catching 4 of those. I think that's going to change.
Yeah, I think Allen was kicking off the rust. I hope he does better.
No, I think it's more so just Caleb. He's got to settle down,
His
and
bones are aching.
I
Yeah,
think
I was watching. Caleb was trying to kind of do his play style that he was doing in UFC, and one play it did not work at all. He lost like 12, 13 yards on it.
the positive note for both sides is that it's really just up from here. Like how
True.
it could happen again, but I don't think it gets much worse than this. So
I mean,
so
Chicago's defense was lights out in the second half.
with Rome battling I believe it was an MCL sprain. I think there's definitely room for Moore and Allen to produce a little better. I mean, they combined, they've got 19 targets together. So if Rome is out, they're bound to cook. So
I agree.
And Spears got the most receptions for Tennessee.
True. He caught
Look at
every
that.
one, but they were all dump offs.
Well, yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
a Titans
well.
hater.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
well.
biggest difference.
DeAndre Hopkins, 1 reception.
Well, he
Yeah.
was injured.
The
Yeah.
biggest difference between Tennessee and Chicago is on paper. Chicago is good.
Okay.
I like that.
I don't like the Titans roster. There really isn't a lot of bright anything.
Yeah.
Ridley's fine.
I like Pollard,
That's where
though.
that stops.
Pollard's cool.
He's
Pollard's
fine.
cool.
He's fine.
I'm not huge on Ridley, but
Yeah. I love the Bears roster.
he's a guy.
Once
Yeah,
Caleb
on paper, the
settles
Bears
in.
roster is ridiculous.
That Bears roster is delicious.
And their defense was cooking hard.
both defenses were.
Yeah, no, the Titans defense was also amazing too. I'll give credit for them. Snead
Yeah.
looked great.
Credit their defensive front, but
Absolutely.
moving on.
This game was so funny because what happened to the Bengals? Why is it always week one that they're just so mid?
They always start slow. Couldn't tell you why.
They're notoriously the 0-2 team to start the year.
Yeah. Well, it
Yeah,
would
they're
help
so
if the
relevant.
roster played in the preseason, but that's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
Jamar Chase is still a big question mark to see what's going to be happening with him. Higgins, I know, John, you're big on Higgins, and he's still
yeah,
dealing with that,
he got hurt before he played a game.
which is
Anyway,
horrible.
Yeah.
Ramondre Stevenson is awesome, though.
He's still the guy for sure.
Yeah. Everyone thinks that he was like, I know I talked to a lot of people. They were like, oh, I don't like, he's like a RB3. And I was like, honestly, he has RB2 upside.
I mean, how many people would you own on the
Just him.
Patriots? I think just him.
I mean, I have Douglas, but I don't think he's gonna do a whole lot
Demario
unless
Doug.
I also have Douglas in the league, but
Shout out my boy, the
the
Mario
quarterback
Douglas.
the quarterback play has to
Demario.
change
some
for
people
it
Jalen Polk.
to matter.
Hey,
Yeah,
Hunter was
playing
big
Polk
on
is a
Polk.
waste of time
I
in
it's tough
redraft.
because I respect all these guys in a dynasty sense, but in redraft for just this year, none of them excite me that much.
Yeah.
But I do think they have bright futures. Just this year, it's a little questionable. And I know that Ramondre Stevenson had a great game, and I do think he's going to have a solid season. But I truly think it's more so about the Bengals' defensive front.
I don't love it.
I think they're going to get run on through the middle all year. And I think to that point, Isaiah Pacheco,
Isaiah
Pacheco.
Isaiah,
Pacheco.
Isaiah
Oh,
Pacheco is
I
bound
do
for.
I do love that man as
I
Yeah,
well.
he's
think
gonna cook on Sunday.
I think that's
He
my
cooks per usual.
week 2 lock.
I like that. He is a lock.
In the betting sense, I think he's a lock for either great yardage or a touchdown. I think he's gonna have a great game. Hold me to that. If I'm wrong, I'll own up to it. But I think that's the one thing that I'm gonna lock in for this week. Oh, besides Cooper Cup and Kyron Williams just eating the Cardinals alive, but we'll get to that.
Oh my God, Cooper Cup
I honestly have to agree with you.
Cooper Cup was a monster.
Well, we'll get to Cooper Cup's game
Yeah,
because he
yeah.
is a literal beast.
Yeah.
This was a great game. This game that we're talking about here, the Texans and the Colts, I do believe, is going to be a great rivalry throughout the years because, oh my God, coming from someone that played quarterback, seeing Anthony Richardson slip and then still throw the ball 60 yards was unheard of. It was crazy. He literally is him.
Yeah,
AR5 is him.
attempted 9 passes, or not attempted, completed 9. That's insane.
And he still threw for 212 yards. It's
212 and 9
ridiculous.
passes is awesome.
Houston rushing, of course, Joe Mixon. Very
Joe
clearly,
Mixon, him. I know how much
clearly the
he
guy.
loves him.
Insane. 30
Yeah.
carries is just
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's like Derrick
Wild.
Henry numbers.
You know, Joe Mixon is going to have a great year, and everyone is just grossed out by his age, but they have too many passing game options that defenses have to respect. I mean, look at Nico Collins' stat line.
They have so many.
Defenses have to respect the pass game that it leaves the box open and light for Joe Mixon.
Absolutely.
So even though he's an old retirement home guy, Joe Mixon will have a great year.
You know, honestly, a lot of the guys
Barring
that
injury.
I
Barring
thought were going to be washed. A lot of the 2017 running backs, like I thought Kamara wasn't going to do well, honestly. I thought Connor wasn't going to do well. Aaron Jones, Mixon, they all showed out week 1. They really did.
And you know, that brings up an interesting conversation for the other rushing backfield.
Taylor?
Jonathan Taylor is great, but Richardson is definitely going to take a notable percentage of those carries.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, Richardson's the offense. He is the offense with Pittman.
Well, even then, I'm kind of scared for Pittman. I'm kind of scared. He got his targets, which I like, but with Richardson's arm, he kind of just slings it downfield, and that's the Alec Pierce role.
I'm
just saying that just because this game, that's always been Alec Pierce's role, is just go deep.
Go deep.
And I think that's Anthony Richardson's game. So I am a little worried on Pittman. I think they're definitely going to scheme up targets to him, but I don't think it's going to be last year where Gardner Minshew is just funneling him the ball.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think he's not going to be not relevant.
But I get what you mean.
Well,
But
yeah.
I'm a little worried for the skill players on this team just because of AR.
AR is him, though.
I do wonder how Adonai Mitchell pans out just because they drafted him quite early.
They drafted him early. He's a deep guy. I think what Hunter was saying about Marv applies to him. He was a rookie. I saw a lot of the passes that he was getting. There was just a lot of miscommunication. I think Mitchell stopped on a route, and I think AR overthrew one. So it's just about getting comfortable with him. But I don't know. I didn't draft Pittman in a league, so I am curious how he does this year.
We'll
Do you
see.
guys love that? Do you guys love them just giving all this ball knowledge with John
I
Cork staring behind me?
yeah, it's amazing. It
Of
literally is awesome.
course.
Highlight of my week.
I got John Pork
So
as
this
a
game,
baby.
You
shout
know?
out Tua. RIP.
Hawk Tua.
We'll get to him later. But
RIP.
week one, he did great.
Hmm.
I think I know how much love John has for A Chain.
Bro might be dead.
Devon Achan, incredible. I love him.
Yeah.
He's my favorite.
We'll get to him later, but Hill looked great. Waddle looked great. The Jaguars fell apart
And
a little bit.
Jaguars fashion.
Thank Bigsby.
Yeah.
The biggest point is for me is the Jaguars backfield. If I was
Yeah,
an
Tank
ETN
Bigsby
owner,
all of a sudden going crazy was weird.
if I was an ETN owner, I wouldn't be freaking out because ETN's always going to be a good running back. But
That's tough to
that's a
swallow.
lot of points on the table if they're going to split the backfield like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it'll be an even split like it was last week, or maybe it will. I don't know.
I think Tank Bigsby definitely was a big waiver wire for people. I think no matter what, he is a good handcuff to have, but he was putting in work last week.
truthfully, I think they just gave it to him at that many times because he was running so well. I don't think it's
Yeah,
gonna
I
happen
mean
every single week,
6.1 per carry is crazy.
but definitely, I would pick him up and just wait. But if I owned ETN, I definitely would be I don't know.
Maybe a little slightly worried. I don't know.
Not worried, just not thrilled. I would have loved to known this before I drafted ETN.
You know,
Sure, sure.
after this game, I want to say that my biggest buy from either of these teams is probably Evan Ingram.
Oh,
Really?
okay.
I think that's a clear buy low.
Yeah,
You
was
saw
good
the
last
year he
year.
had last year.
True.
I think this is the absolute floor. I mean, one catch for 5 yards. I think we saw what he can do last year with Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if you're an owner of any of these skill players, I think it's kind of a positive sign that Lawrence spread it very evenly.
I was about to say, I'm very big on Brian Thomas Jr. Caught all 4 passes for a touchdown.
I love the guy, and you know me, I'm a dynasty guy, so I have been in on Brian Thomas Jr. for months.
Yeah.
But so I'm glad that people are finally seeing him.
But shout out Gabe Davis. 62 yards.
Oh yeah,
Love to see that.
Gabe Davis. Always
Give it up for Gabe Davis. But yeah, this game was
Believe
definitely a
me.
game of time. For sure.
Yeah. I mean, I don't love Christian Kirk getting one catch. Hopefully that changes,
Yeah, shout out Christian Kirk.
but we'll see. They shouldn't have got more receivers. As a Christian Kirk owner, they should have just stayed not as good. I'm just kidding.
I love that. I love that feedback. Oh, yes.
Not a whole lot to talk about.
Oh, this
Oh,
was
Panthers.
a fun game to watch. Let me
What,
tell
Miles
you.
Sanders still isn't good? No way.
Just an absolute beatdown.
There's
Oh
no
my
chance
God,
that-
Kamara
There's no
cooked.
chance this was a fun watch.
Well, as a Saints fan, it was because I was like, holy hell, the Saints just picked him off again.
If I was the Panthers, dude, oh gosh.
I mean, Bryce Young looked like he was
A
getting
Panthers
killed.
fan, bro.
How many more years can the Panthers be really bad before
We'll
they
see.
just,
But
leave the
Kamara looked
NFL?
great. I was happy to see that. He was cooking. Chris Olave did not cook, which made me sad, but
Yeah.
But this game was fun, but we don't have to really talk about it much since it was a complete beatdown.
Well, to that point, I think it's only up from here for Olave because, once they get up 3 scores, there's no real point to have the starters in.
Right. No, I agree.
Yeah,
for
That's
sure.
true.
And I think that sentiment kind of will continue throughout the season for teams that play Carolina.
True. Carolina is a weird one to look for.
You would think that's like a game where like, oh, my skill players are going to go off in this game, but just worry that they might get benched just in case that they're up.
True.
Yeah.
Very true.
Because you can see how many different players they rushed.
I mean, yeah, look how many people caught the ball for the Saints. Like Derek Carr was spreading it around.
Who?
Excuse me, who is that?
Bub
Bub
Means. I
Bub
like
Means.
that. Hey,
It's a
he's
good
in the
name.
NFL.
Don't
Good
even
name.
know who that guy is.
Put
but he's
respect on
awesome.
the Pitt legend.
Yeah,
Bub,
shout
yeah.
him out. But
Right,
yeah,
and
go
Panthers
Saints.
yeah.
Who
Bub.
dat?
They need to just restart.
Who that boy? Who he
Okay.
is?
I have a very hot take on
Another
this
close
game.
game.
I
Yeah.
think
Wow.
I know it's just the Giants, but I think Darnold actually looks pretty dang good. I know he has a good supporting cast around him, but he did not really hurt the Vikings like I thought he was going to this season. So I'm decently high on Darnold. But Daniel Jones is atrocious. I will make that very known.
22 for 42.
42
Nice.
pass attempts. I like that. Um,
Wow.
yeah,
That's
I think the
good.
Vikings are going to continue to be just fine. They aren't going to be great, but
Yeah, I think
they're
they'll
going to
win
be
8 to 9
just fine.
games. I think they'll be fine. They might be on the cusp for the playoffs, depending on
Yeah,
how Darnold does.
I
But
agree.
As they are like most years.
yeah, but honestly, Darnold is not a bad quarterback to have in that system. Hunter, what is your thoughts on Mr. Darnold?
Darnold, I think historically he's set for 3 good games to start the year, and then we'll fall off the wagon. But
True.
we'll see. We'll see. Um,
We'll see.
uh,
You can't be worse than Daniel Jones, though.
if he's still on your waivers, go pick up Wandale Robinson. You just can't ignore 14 targets.
True.
CJ Ham.
CJ Ham. CJ
Was
Ham.
it 14? Wait.
14.
Oh wow.
Well, it was 12.
12. That's what I
sorry.
thought it was.
12,
Yeah.
but he also ran the ball once, so like 13 touches.
Yeah, that I was looking at
Okay.
the
Yeah.
yards.
Eric
Um,
Gray.
Eric Gray.
I saw
Eric
it at the
Gray.
bottom.
But if we're looking for a buy that you might still be able to get before he pops is Malik Neighbors.
Malik Neighbors is going to be him.
Depending on who owns him in your league, people are either very hot or cold on rookies. So you could, if you you put on your charisma hat, speak some sweet words, you might be able to get Malik Neighbors. But because
I like that.
he hasn't popped, but I think he's set for a great season.
He looked good week 1, though.
He looked good, but he didn't have that like 30-point game where he just makes him unattainable.
Oh, God, this game sucked.
You said that about like
You
5
say
games.
that every single game. It was
Week
awful.
1 was not a great week, if I'm being real.
Oh,
I liked it. I
awful.
won in multiple leagues.
I won in 4 out of the 5. I was
But I had
content,
4
but
players
like
get hurt, so that's
Gardner
okay.
Minshew is gross to watch play the game of football. He was
Okay.
not doing too hot.
Well, on paper he did good.
Yeah. It makes, honestly, this is going to be kind of an interesting topic. Hunter, how do you feel about Zamir White?
I think he's serviceable. I think he'll be a flex play the whole year, but I'm not excited about going out and buying him. Like,
Okay.
if I have him, cool. If someone wants to buy him for a lot from me, there's nothing stopping me from selling him. I think he's fine. There's nothing crazy about him.
As a Jacoby Myers owner, hey, if he continues to finish above Adams, I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, Jacoby Myers is a very underrated receiver to have. But the big thing I'm going to take away from this game is if he stays healthy, J.K. Dobbins could be amazing. I say that every single year because he has the explosive play, but
Then he gets injured.
10 rushes, 135 yards is crazy.
Yeah, I'm not thrilled
Like, that's
with
crazy.
Gus Edwards' 2.4
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
yards per play.
Gus looked terrible, but
I'm not gonna get too high on the J.K. Dobbins train. I think it's definitely a hot hand type of deal and strictly up to game planning. I think it's going to be a very hot and cold approach with Dobbins and Edwards. I think it's very close to how it looked in Baltimore. Isn't it still Roman? Their coordinator, I believe it's still.
Oh, I think you're
I
right.
believe it's still Greg Roman. So I think they're going. This was the J.K. Dobbins game. I think next week could very well be the Gus Edwards game. I don't think it's gonna be Dobbins. But again, it's one of those things. If I'm wrong, I'll take it because he had an amazing game and you can't take that away from him.
Shout out Lad McConkey.
That's exactly what I wanted to say.
I own that, man.
A watered down version of what I said about Malik Neighbors. Go out and get Lad.
Yeah, I do love Lad.
Go out and get Lad. He might have the Ave syndrome this week just because they're playing the Panthers, but he's the buy here for me.
I like that. But yeah, interesting game because Gardner Minshew stinks. I know on paper he looked good, but
yeah, I was like, you're not that bad, really.
But man, watching that game sucked.
I mean,
what do you guys think about
on
Brock
paper he did better than
Bowers?
Herbert. On paper, he
Brock
did.
Bowers is going to be great.
I think so too. Griffin, what's up with the glasses here?
You like that?
You
You like that?
look
This
like
game was
you look like an
a
old
fun.
man, G.
Hey, you gotta embrace it sometimes. Let's keep it a buck. Kenneth Walker is amazing, except I can't believe he got hurt in the fourth. That sucks. You hate to see that.
Have your handcuff, Zach Charbonnet. Tonight.
That's shout out him, baby.
John
That's what I'm
Sark,
starting this with.
it's time to complain.
Honestly, it's funny that Josh Reynolds was the leading receiving yards on the Broncos. That's just not who I would see come in.
You
Yeah.
can't ignore Bo Nix siphoning targets to Sutton, though. He's never going to be someone you want to go out and buy, but if you're hurting, he's a lock for at minimum 7+ targets a game.
Yeah, I mean Sutton's the number one, so I mean,
He's
you're gonna
the
have to
guy
throw
in
him
that
the ball.
offense. He didn't have a great game, but he's going to be a safe play all year.
John, how do you feeling about the game?
Yeah, I didn't even know the Broncos had that many receivers that can catch balls. But what I will say is Walker's great. Unfortunately, he's too weak. But it's fine. I'm not upset about it at all.
I mean, when he's on the field, he's a monster when he's on the
Yeah,
field.
John, not upset about it at all.
Wouldn't be shocked if he hurt himself while celebrating. It's okay. Because I watched the game. I didn't even recall him getting hurt. It just appeared after the game. I was like, oh,
That's what
cool.
I thought too, though.
Yeah. Well, my girlfriend texted me. She's like, why is there a Q on his thing? I was like, I don't know. And,
He
and
said,
now he's
"I don't
out.
know."
Now he's out week 2. Awesome.
Shout
Why's he got
out
the Q,
Zach.
bro? Why's he got the Q?
The Q.
Yeah. So now,
In real life perspective, I'm definitely not excited about having to play that defense twice a year. I think Mike McDonald is going to cook in Seattle, unfortunately.
I think you're right.
but not cook enough against Arizona.
Real. Arizona will still win.
Absolutely.
Seattle notoriously cooks against us just for the most random game you can ever think
That
of.
was pre-Marvin Harrison. Just wait.
I like that, John. I like that a lot.
Yeah, but yeah, so now I'm dealing with the decision of whether to start Gus Edwards or Alan Lazard.
Alan Lizard.
Lizard time. Before we move on, I just want to shout out another tight end that you got to pursue if you're hurting real bad. I've been rostering Noah Fant so much.
Noah Fant.
Come on,
Laugh at it
Noah
all you want.
Fant.
Laugh at it all you want. Who's he competing with in that tight end room?
I
He's
get
doubtful
that.
for week 2.
What's up?
Noah Fant's doubtful for week 2.
Nah, it'll be fine.
I like that.
Maybe.
I like that attitude.
I mean, he might be the only tight end, but he could still suck.
No, he got cleared. He practiced fully. Yeah, he's good. He's
I
good.
thought
Shout
Fant
out
was
my boy
doubtful.
Noah Fant. Iowa legend.
Shout out Iowa.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, well.
Yeah, well.
all right.
Oh God.
Yeah, well, that's Retief.
Dude,
He's
Deshaun
watching.
Watson is miserable.
I just love that you have a visceral reaction to every game.
Because
Oh,
there's always one player that I'm like, dude, they stink.
he's so
Just
bad.
name a random matchup and Griffin will be like,
Oh,
Hey, I didn't say that about the Saints though.
you said about Carolina?
Yeah, well,
yes.
Carolina sucks.
I dropped Deshaun Watson
Yeah,
in a league for Baker Mayfield.
that's a great pickup.
Yeah,
I don't know why Baker was even available.
Yeah, Baker's awesome. John loves Baker. I know that. John's a big Baker guy.
Hey,
That was the league we're in, Hunter.
Oh boy.
He was available.
He said, oh boy. He said, I have Jordan Love and he's hurt, so that stinks.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Hey, I wasn't gonna draft Lamb. I wasn't gonna drop Love, so I wasn't worried.
Real.
Yeah.
CD Lamb was just kind of he wasn't his normal self, but I feel like neither was Jamar. So like the contract situations for them didn't really help week 1, but I guarantee you by week 2 or 3 they're going to be dropping 20 plus a game again.
Is Zeke back?
Did
he ever lead?
No.
He was kind of a touchdown machine last year.
Yeah, I mean that's all he is. It's
on
just
the
touchdown
Patriots.
machine.
I mean, he's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, but he's not back. Jerome Ford, shout out
Not
Jerome
back.
Ford for scoring a touchdown in like the last 2 minutes to help me win my fantasy matchup.
Okay.
So this is the game where tight ends just go to die, apparently.
True. I mean, Jake Ferguson and Njoku getting injured sucks so bad.
That's tough because those are a couple of the most popular tight ends that were rostered.
Yeah, I mean those are such serviceable tight ends, and then they both just have knee problems. So that's awesome.
My opponent has Njoku, so I'm okay with it.
All right, I
Nice,
like that,
nice.
Jan. I like that, Jan.
Giannis.
Yanis.
Yeah.
How many more games are
Uh,
left here?
yeah, we have two.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the Commanders and Bucks, or we have three.
Yeah, 3.
So with this game, I go Sun Devils. Jaden Daniels looked great running the ball. I mean, he was killing it, but Baker Mayfield is him.
Is Eckler back?
No.
I own in both my leagues,
I own Brian
unfortunately.
Robinson, and I love
Yeah,
him.
that's the correct pick.
He's my favorite.
Hey,
Terry McLaurin.
Eckler is going to
Have a
turn it
day.
around. He's going to
You
turn it
know,
around.
something that I want to point out is all off season I was talking about how inefficient of a runner Rashad White was. Just look at the average difference in carries between him and Bucky Irving. I think as the season goes on, Bucky
Wow.
could definitely eat into those carries. So if you have a
Look like maybe, yeah.
if you have a running back room that you're comfortable with, sell so astronomically high on Rashad White while he's still relevant. That's my take. That's just my take. I could definitely be wrong, but
Yeah.
just the stats don't lie. 2.1 a carry is crazy.
Yep, I
I mean,
agree.
I could see that. Yeah, happening.
For
And it's a
sure.
trend from last season. Just last season, he was the only backfield option. That's why he was so good.
Like Matthew at running back.
John?
No,
John, you're like too short to even
Uh,
go and get into the NFL, I feel like.
no, I'm the perfect height. But, so Baker Mayfield is the greatest quarterback in NFL history.
True,
His
true.
ability to spread
Yes.
the ball, just impeccable. I mean, he doesn't make a bad decision ever. I
Once
mean,
he left the Browns, that was like the best thing he
yeah,
zero
best
possibly
thing
could,
for him.
interceptions,
yeah,
4 passing
possibly could do.
touchdowns.
I
I
mean,
mean, oh,
Mike Evans is still him. Keep that in mind.
literally
He
the only
is. He
only reason
is.
why Rashad
So
White had a good week was the 75 receiving yards.
Yeah, it was because of
hey,
Baker.
look at Chris Godwin though. Chris Godwin was good.
Oh no, I mean I'm high on Chris Godwin and Evans. They're still amazing.
Yummy.
So
By the
yeah,
way, go buy Brian.
Yummy, yummy, delicious.
I agree. Brian Robinson is the man.
Well,
Scary
don't buy him
Terry
from me.
was not Scary Terry was not scary.
Yeah, no,
I'm
unfortunately
not
he was
selling.
not. I ain't suing.
He's mine, and he's
All
definitely mine
right.
because I have injuries.
Okay, this game. This game
Oh,
is
it sucks.
no. I'm not saying it sucks
You're about
because
to.
it was a fun game to watch, but as a Monra St. Brown owner, that sucked to see for
Oh
sure.
yeah, that's
That was
true.
not. That wasn't fun.
The game I lost Puka Nakua.
That sucks too, but Cooper Cup,
I lost Puka in 2
21
leagues. dude.
targets is insanity.
Yeah, that's
Monroe had
It's
like no bad.
crazy.
Monroe had like no bad games last year. I
I'm
swear.
so sad I don't have Cooper Cup at any of my leagues because Matthew stole him from
21.
me in one league because Cooper Cup's amazing.
I didn't
didn't realize
steal
it
him
was
from
that
you. I
good.
just went before you.
21 targets is
That's how it
ridiculous.
works. But yeah, 21 targets is insane.
49 pass attempts. From
I'm smiling, but that I just know that Kyron Williams and Cooper Cup are gonna slaughter the Cardinals this week.
That's unfortunately probably
gonna-
true.
Slaughter the Cardinals.
I think Matthew Stafford throwing almost 50
In
passes is
a
ridiculous.
fantasy sense, at least. In a fantasy sense.
Stafford,
Oh, for sure.
Stafford making out with Cooper Cup in the locker room.
But Monty is still good as a running back. I mean, he was he cooked the Rams defense in the overtime so badly.
He like always gets a touchdown.
Yeah.
He's
So
a touchdown
Monty's still
guy.
good. Jamison Williams is awesome.
Yep. 1 reception, he's really good.
Ball knowers always believed in him.
Or 1 rush.
Yeah, but are you looking at his receiving yards, Matthew?
No, I was not. I was looking at his rushing.
Thank you.
if your fantasy player is playing against the Lions, trade them away before the game starts.
Yeah, because
I
Puka
don't
Nakua.
know why the Lions have to hit so hard, but
Because
every
of,
time they hit a player, I cringed.
Yeah, I forget what the safety's name is, but I know he hits like a freight train.
Yeah, they're a
Ruby
headhunting out
Joseph?
there.
Thank you. Yes, it was him.
They bite
He-
kneecaps, bro. What can I say?
I literally thought the Rams
Yeah.
were going to just forfeit at halftime. I mean, I was scared for their safety.
Go out and get Kobe Parkinson. Just saying. Just saying.
He's still available, and I looked at him and it said, I'm okay.
I
Yeah.
understand that,
I mean,
Jan.
he's kind of like mid, I
Yeah,
thought.
I mean, you only have 1 week to go off of, so we'll see.
Well, now that Puka's knee has been obliterated, Kobe has some targets in the middle of the field.
True. Dude, I still
Yeah,
just
he's an
can't fucking
option.
believe about Puka, man. That's so unlucky.
Yep, his earliest return is I believe week 7 because they have a bye week in week 6. And they also said he could be out beyond that, which is really awesome.
Yeah, shout out Puka.
Just get good knees. What can I say?
I took him in 2
Hunter,
leagues.
that is very ironic coming from you. Oh, that's awesome. Just skill issue. Okay, this game, Jordan Mason's him. We'll keep that a buck. He's awesome. And Brees Hall is him as well. He's cool.
Tyrod
Yeah,
Taylor season.
Brees Hall was fine. I just wanted to point out if Alan Lazard even does half of what he did this week, he's going to be a lot better than anyone would have guessed in fantasy.
True.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure his roster owner percent was below 5%, and now it's like
We talked about it
it's over
earlier
half.
today. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe his roster percent was less than 1% of leagues
And
owned.
it went up to what, 40 something?
Something insane.
Like
Yeah, we'll
45%.
see if Mike Williams actually does something.
I
I don't
hope
know
not.
if he was out. I don't know if he was out week 1, but
Actually, I don't know. I mean, I want to say yeah because he got nothing.
Boys.
yeah, he literally is not on the board.
Boys, go do yourself a favor and learn from the sins of the Niners and just get Braylon Allen. Just get Braylon Allen, especially if you're a Brees owner. Just get Braylon Allen. Just do it. Don't even think about it.
He's owned, unfortunately.
Yeah, he
He's
is
owned.
owned. He should be owned in every league,
He is
honestly.
owned.
Oh, he's owned.
Jordan Mason, Offensive Player of the Year. Lock it in.
Dude, you're locking it in because you traded McCaffrey to league and you have Mason. That's why.
I kept the boy. What can I say? Big
That's
brain.
true. Big brain.
I forgot
Very
that
large
trade
brain.
happened. That bothered
Very
me.
large Brian. Shout out Brian, honestly. The GOAT.
I think we got one last game. I think it's the Thursday night football game.
Yes, Thursday night
Oh,
football
yeah.
game we will talk about because that was, if you're a Dolphins fan, I'm sorry, because that was brutal. I mean, it was tough because I watched the whole game. That first pick was not on Tua at all. Hit him right in the numbers, and it just bounced off his chest. That is tough.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
But
yeah.
picks 2 and 3, that was horrendous. So
But if you have Devon Achane, you loved the Dolphins.
yeah, you
I mean-
love him.
I mean, at this point, I think talk about the picks is pretty irrelevant. Nobody knows when Tua is going to come back if he ever comes back.
I really think he might retire.
It's just
You
a
think
real
so?
big. Just as a ball lover, you hate to see that.
You really do.
Well, he's
I
had
mean,
like 7 concussions now.
no,
So
4.
oh, I thought I read 7. Yeah.
Just
If
it's
he had
4.
7.
It's 4, but like all of them got his fingers thrown up gang signs.
Yeah, dude, those were not good. I mean, some concussions are more severe, but I feel like the one against the Bengals 2 years ago was horrifying.
Well, yeah, he had 2 because that was when he had 2 concussions in like 1 week because he got
Yeah,
the
it did.
concussion and then he cleared and then played the next game and then that's when he got slammed.
They
to the
also
ground.
kept. I remember one game he had a concussion, and they kept him in. He somehow passed the protocol, but he actually had a concussion. I think it was against Green Bay. But James
You're
Cook,
right. It's 4.
James Cook is him. I will go Bills on that one. I mean, Josh Allen literally did not have to really do anything except hand the ball off and then
Hey, I
just
loved it.
yeah.
My opponent had Allen.
So yeah, I mean,
Keep it
yeah,
up,
Allen
Tiger.
didn't have to do much. Ray Davis, honestly, I agree. He probably should be rostered, and honestly, handcuffs should be rostered by the person that has them. I do not have Ray Davis in the league. I have Cook, which stinks, but yeah, James Cook is him, and
Better
so
go get him. Sweet baby Ray, go get him.
sweet baby Ray. But yeah, that was Thursday night. Thursday night was cool.
But yeah, I want to say I kind of said it earlier. Just don't worry about Tyreek. Don't worry about Waddle. Just because Tua's gone.
Yeah, I mean, Thompson's still going to throw them the ball.
It's not going to be as pretty or as nice or as efficient.
Yeah, but they're going to get the volume.
They're going to get their targets.
Yeah.
There might be a couple air balls, but don't worry. That's all I
I
gotta say.
agree. Honestly,
It sucks for them in real life, but as a fantasy perspective, they're gonna get their numbers.
I agree. Um, honestly, I don't know if we have time to go through week 2. It's already almost 5:50.
And
Um,
let's speed
yeah,
run.
let's
How about
speed
that?
run. Let's just
Also,
instead of just going,
this episode's pretty long. It's already like an hour.
yeah, instead of just let's just go through the matchup, say who's gonna win. We won't have to like fully discuss. Let's just give our opinions. What's the first game?
Rams Cardinals.
Rams Cardinals.
Unfortunately the Rams will win that game.
Cardinals are a
Yeah.
favorite. Cardinals are a favorite, but I think it's the Rams. I think just notoriously history, McVay has their number.
Yeah, Cooper Cup is gonna cook completely.
I think they'll get the ball to Marv just to shut up the media, but I think it's going to be
Yeah.
a Cup Kyron Williams game.
Yeah, I agree. John?
Yeah, give me the Cardinals just to be that guy.
Real Matthew?
Oh, he's wearing the Cardinals hat. No, I got Rams.
Got you. All right, Saints and Cowboys.
We're
Cowboys
gonna
by
say,
10.
oh, Griffin's turning black.
Honestly,
Been
give
long.
me the Cowboys. I don't think the Saints win that game.
You know, I don't think they get absolutely donkeyed. I think there's actually a reality where the Saints take it,
Donkey.
but I think it's the Cowboys.
Yeah, I just think the Cowboys just have a better offense. Bucks and Lions is going to be an amazing game.
Whoa, Matthew didn't say who he was going to
Oh,
win.
sorry. I thought he said the Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Okay.
Good boy. I don't know why I said that.
I see the Bucks and Lions going either way. However, I think the Lions are going to win.
Give me Lions too.
Give me Bucks.
Why are you picking Bucks? I'm just curious.
So Baker Mayfield is incredible. I also think that the Lions, well, okay, Williams isn't going to repeat what he did last week. Amon-Ra will probably do all right,
I hope so.
but I prefer the Bucks randomly, even though now that I'm looking at it, the Lions are heavily favored.
I don't think they should be that favored.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a close game. I think Amon-Ra is gonna find the end zone, but one, they're playing in Detroit, and two, I could be wrong on this, but I think Antoine Winfield is out.
Oh, that's not good.
I believe he's out. I could be wrong on that, but I'm going Lions.
Yeah,
They
fair.
don't need them.
Colts, Packers. Give me the Colts.
Yeah.
I mean Colts, yeah, especially.
Yeah,
I like
Jordan
it.
Love's not playing.
I like the Packers roster, but it's got to be Colts. It's really a matter of if Love plays, and
Yeah.
even if he does,
Yeah, I don't trust that.
He's
Jets,
playing-
Titans.
it's 50%.
Jets.
Jets.
Jets. Yeah,
I think it's
I
going to
mean,
be a
I
total
mean the Titans
beatdown.
suck, bro.
yeah, that's true. Titans are kind of booty.
I think the Jets get their feet under them. I mean, they played okay last week. I think they only play better this week, and the Titans are just, I mean, their offense is extremely boring.
Real.
I think it's got to be Jets, but I would just worry about that weather if it's super humid. That's the only thing they got going for them. The
Real.
Titans,
Mm.
but I'm going Jets.
The Niners, Vikings. Give me the Niners.
Niners.
Niners,
I think
Anything-
it's closer. I think it's a closer game than you guys expect, but I think it'll be Niners. Darnold knows the offense and the defense. He was with the Niners last year, and last
True.
year, Kevin, what is it, McConnell?
Kevin O'Connell.
Kevin O'Connell.
O'Connell, that's it.
O'Connell.
That's it. He was the guy that
Oh,
figured out the Niners offense.
true.
And in prime time last year, the Vikings shocked the Niners last year. So
Do you want to
True.
see why I was confused about Noah Fant? Because it was right tackle George Fant was doubtful. Of course, what are the odds? Are you kidding? Okay, well,
That's funny.
Shut
awesome.
up, my
All
boy.
right.
Noah Fant.
Seahawks, Patriots.
Matthew, there's no way you dropped Mario Douglas to pick up Braylon Allen. You're kidding me. Are you
Let's go. He's
joking?
During
taking
the
my advice
podcast?
live.
During the podcast is crazy.
Taking my advice as we speak. That's a W.
I just realized I tried to pick him up the other day and then I got Lazard and I was like, oh, I should just grab him again. Anyways.
Guys, that's
Mario Douglas.
that's a live W.
That is a lot W. Seahawks, Patriots.
During the
Give me
pod.
Seahawks.
Oh, if you saw that. I didn't know if you guys were gonna see it till after.
No, yeah, I had to call that out.
Yeah, it's gonna be Seahawks. I think the Patriots are definitely tough and they're gonna fight. And it's in Massachusetts, so don't be surprised if anything wonky happens.
Wonky
Real.
slush.
Quentin Perry for
Wonky
120 yards.
slash.
I mean, I honestly have the Seahawks by probably. I would take the -10 for Seattle if it was there. Sorry,
Really?
that
Real.
ticket price is insane. Anyway, Giants,
Seahawks.
Commanders.
Give me the
No,
Commanders.
nobody wants to watch this game, but this is one of the hardest games for me to predict because,
Commanders.
like, what?
I am so low on the Giants. Like, if you could call me the #1 Giants hater in the country. Um, yeah, Giants are toast until Jones is benched. I thought there's no
Well,
I
future there.
agree.
I think the Commanders secondary is just as toast as Daniel Jones is.
Jones isn't gonna hit a receiver.
And
He
yeah, and I was
couldn't
about to
hit
say
it.
Daniels is better than him, and I think he's going to lead him to the victory.
Who's the
I think
Giants? Who's the Giants backup?
I think this is
Drew Lock.
I think this
Ooh.
is a proper potential neighbors breakout game
I hope so.
because the
Really?
corners for the commies are non-existent.
Mhm.
It could be a great Daniels game. Could be a great Daniels game, but they also have an elite defensive front. Say what you want about the Giants, but they have an elite defensive front.
Fair.
So
It could go either way, honestly,
It-
but
that's my hardest game to predict. I'm going Giants. Just to be that guy.
Wow.
I like that. I like that. Chargers Panthers, give me the Chargers by at least 28. And if the Saints put 47, the Chargers should have put at
I
least
mean,
30.
you can't say the Panthers are going to win this in any
And what's the
world,
spread?
It's just -5.
which is
Honestly,
weird.
That's not
That's
enough.
crazy.
That should
That's
be
crazy.
more.
I think Chuba Hubbard might get a couple yards.
Oh, stop.
Yeah, he'll get 2 yards.
He'll
Yep.
get a
Stop
few
being positive
yards.
about the Panthers, dude. They are so
Miles,
garbage.
Yeah.
Miles Sanders might get a few carries.
Yeah, no, this is
Miles.
a pretty easy lock for the Chargers.
Yeah,
So
easy.
you're saying I should start Gus Edwards?
Gus the bus.
I don't know, dude.
No, probably
I
not.
cannot decide whether to start Edwards or
Alan
Lazard.
Lizard.
Well, leave it in the comments. Let John
Yeah,
know.
great idea, Matthew.
Let John know. Gus Edwards or who?
I like that. Gus
Alan
Edwards
Lazard.
or Alan Lizard.
Or sleeper Greg Dortch.
Or Alan Lizard.
Oh, okay.
Greg
Dortch the
Dortch.
Torch.
I like that. I like the Dortch.
He did score a touchdown against the Rams at home last year. I'm just saying.
I like that.
Dortch the Torch. He's fast. All right, Browns
All
and
right.
Jaguars.
What do you boys think?
Oh, this is a hard game to
It
predict.
can go either
honestly.
way. The Jaguars offense is honestly, I think, really hot and cold. I do think they win.
I was also going to pick the Jags.
Yeah,
You know, if it's still the ghost of Deshaun Watson playing, it's gonna be the Jags. I think the Jags are a good enough team to walk away with this.
Griffin is disappearing.
Oh, shoot, really?
If
Oh,
Watson has another game like last week, I think it's easily the
The
Jags.
lighting's so bad.
I know, dude. It stinks, but we up. We up.
Yeah, but
Uh,
I think the Browns defense can keep them in.
True.
Yeah.
Fair.
that's why I could see it going either way. Because if the Jaguars' offense is cold, I think the Browns can easily just win a low-scoring game and move
I
on.
agree.
Because I like the Jags defense as well. Granted, they just had Tyson Campbell go on IR, so might change a little bit.
Tough.
Matthew is
Octois.
winning.
Octois. Give me the Browns.
Why?
I don't know.
I like that. I just like that.
You
No,
know,
You don't
prob-
have to explain.
Probably
that's
not the Browns.
great insight. Great insight.
I just like it. I like it.
All right, let's look at this spread. -9 for the Ravens and Raiders.
Not enough. Ravens are gonna win by 20.
Not enough.
But
Or
20.
An NFL game -9 is pretty wild. For college, it'd be like -32.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Ravens. There's just if you're
There's
picking the
genuinely
Raiders,
no
it's
way. They're also playing in Baltimore.
yeah. I mean, hey, I'm praying that Jacoby Myers does just a little bit.
Just a tad. Just
We'll
like at
see.
least 8 points.
Well, hey, if they go down by 1,000, you know, Maybe they'll just start flinging it to him.
Real
I think
Hunter.
I think Mark Andrews gets his touchdown. I think he gets his touchdown.
Yeah, shout out Hunter, the biggest Mark Andrews lover.
Yeah, I think
Um,
at the end of the fourth quarter when they pull all the starters, Mark Andrews will get a touchdown. Um,
He's gonna go Wildcat and run it in.
I like that.
there you go.
Yeah, Ravens pretty easy.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's no debate.
yeah. Matthew, Ravens or Raiders?
Raiders.
I like that. Don't even explain it to me. I don't want to hear the reason, but I
I don't
like
want
it.
to hear it, even if it was a good reason.
Steelers and Broncos.
Mid off.
I don't think it's a mid off. I
It's
think
an
this is.
extreme mid off. Are you kidding?
I still pick the Steelers.
Steelers.
I think
No
I think
Broncos. No Broncos.
I think it's copy and paste of the Steelers last game. I think the defense will win it from.
That's what I was gonna say. I think it's gonna be down to the defense, and TJ Watt's gonna cook.
Rest in peace, my king, Audric Estime.
Yeah, give me the Broncos. It's in Denver. You know, they're gonna right the ship.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, have fun with Bo Nix getting sacked 5 times.
We gotta speed this up.
We don't.
Yeah, we really do.
Okay, Bengals Chiefs. I think
We
this game is
don't.
extremely overhyped only because it is historically a good game.
No, the Chiefs by like 10.
I think the Chiefs are going to handle the Bengals pretty easily. The
agree.
Bengals defense is very
Yeah.
unimpressive.
I
Their
love the
offense is
Chiefs. Love
struggling.
Mahomes.
I think
Lock
Travis
in
Kelsey's gonna cook in this game, though.
Lock in that potato over.
Potato.
Hey,
I think this is going to be another week where we look at all the sad press conference from the Bengals after the game, and they're just going to be like,
Yep, we
amazing in
lost.
week 3.
True.
Eh,
So yeah,
I
give me
don't
the
know.
Chiefs. Texans and Bears. Give me the Texans.
yeah, I like the Bears only because their roster is so good, but the Texans, their roster is even better.
Yeah,
It's
dynamite.
delicious. It's delicious.
It is
I think-
awesome.
I think Chicago will get his footing a little bit more on offense, but I think it's a Texans victory.
It'll be a close game for sure, but the Texans will pull it out.
And Monday Night Football, it's never over until Monday night.
Real.
Falcons and
Well,
Eagles.
Captain Kirk gave you a win. That's the question.
Yeah, it's the Eagles. They're in Philadelphia.
Just yeah, it's the Eagles.
Yeah,
Every
it probably is
My
the
body
Eagles.
wants to say the Eagles, and I'm
You're gonna-
going
you're
to
gonna
say
say
the
the-
Eagles.
Okay.
Hey,
But-
to your point earlier, John, if
Mhm.
Kirk finds his footing and the offense starts clicking, then it could be a game.
It's gonna be. I feel like it will be a game, but the Eagles will get the
Keep
win.
throwing it to Kyle Pitts, and I'll love Kirk Cousins forever.
Real.
Saying.
Kyle Pitts hater.
What?
Yeah.
I
That
understand.
back.
I understand the
Take
hate.
that back. Well, I never owned him in the previous years where he was miserable, so I don't have that.
Don't
that
have the
hate.
pain.
Yeah.
I actually have never owned him either.
Oh, okay.
But I've seen
I have
seen
had him
the
every year. I have gone through the pain.
I've seen the
Yeah,
pain that
still a
he's done
believer.
to I've seen the pain that he's done to others.
That's fair.
And
This is the year. Oh, tickets as low as $16.
You love that.
John, if Pitts does bad this year, will you ever draft him again?
John, are you going to that game, by the way?
Yeah, I am going to the Cardinals Rams game.
Beautiful.
I go to every home game.
John is the biggest fan.
You didn't answer my question, John.
He's the biggest fan.
Would I draft Pitts again?
If he does awful this year,
There's only a few guys who have ever done so bad where I've refused to draft him for the rest of history.
it was like Juju.
I was just about to say
was one of
Juju.
them. Juju, I never drafted again after that year. Oh, who else did I refuse? Well, Patriots across the board.
Just like Patriots players.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
No.
I don't know, Panthers players, maybe.
Yeah. That's not even because of their like scheme. That's just because literally they don't have a good player. They're missing
Yeah.
100% of their roster.
Deontay Johnson and Razor.
Yeah, I'd rather watch Matthew Lonsdale play wide receiver.
I agree.
Thank you.
I meant that in a good way, Matthew.
I know. I said thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, what an episode we had. This was a great time. Hunter, you provided so much insight with John Pork in the background. Don't know how to feel about it.
You
but-
did.
We're both ball knowers.
True.
You did add a lot of ball.
We just tell each other trade secrets.
Real.
I like
He
that.
whispers in my ear who to pick up.
I like that.
John
but,
Pork is a baby.
Yeah.
He's so
Great
cute.
episode.
He's so cute.
Thank you for watching. John is floored by something.
Yeah, this 51.5 for the total points for the Bucks Lions. Jeez,
I don't know if
Louise.
I don't think that's gonna
That's a
happen.
lot of offense.
But
But I'd love it if that happened.
sweet. Well, thank you, Hunter, for coming on as usual. You are the GOAT.
Yeah,
You are
thank
the
you,
best ball
brother.
knowledge man I know.
You had a lot to this episode,
Thank you for having me, boys. Appreciate it.
Of
of course.
course. John, would you like to do the outro or no?
Oh, hey, that outro was perfect. I think we can leave it at that.
Okay. All right. I'm cool with that.
Thanks for
Shout
watching
out to
episode
Mario
5.
Douglas.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching,
That
boys
was beautiful.
and girls.
Well,
And girls.
make sure that's not.
Yo.